Turn.
No risk. No risk.
Please give us on crisis. What the fuck? Yeah, call it. Control the calls all the way through. Don't get sloppy. We're gonna keep calling.
No, we just caught them. We just killed them all.
Hey guys, today we'll be looking at the Galatine pair in ZvZs. This will probably be a longer video where I cover different ways you can build your character and some basic strategies, and then I'll go over some advanced strategies. If you're new to the game or just new to the weapon line, it may be a lot to take in. The sword line is considered one of the hardest weapons to master. Just stick with it. Watch your replays and figure out what goes wrong. It'll take some time for you to feel comfortable in the weapon. If you're a veteran sword player, you may know a lot of the information in this video, but stick around to the end because I'll be covering some advanced mechanics and strategies that may change the way you think about the game. And with that said, there are many builds for the Galatines. I'm going to show you my build, and in my opinion some of the effective variations. I'll also show you a few items that I see people use that you should never use, ever. So first, let's cover my build. I use Royal Hood with the Growing Rage ability, Assassin Jacket with Ambush, Mage Sandals with Delayed Teleport, and the Marlock Cape. As for the abilities in the Galatine pairs themselves, I use Splitting Slash if it's a small scale ZvZ and they do not have a locus, or Iron Will if it's a large scale ZvZ and I think I can be purged. Some alterations you can make are using Soldier Armor instead of Assassin Jacket. This will be more of a brawler build, but because of the lack of maneuverability, you can easily find yourself in hot water. I'll touch on this later in the video when I discuss strategies. Another alteration is not using the Royal Hood, but going for something more like the Knight Helmet to allow for more maneuverability, and foregoing Ambush on your Assassin Jacket for Inferno Shield, with an Arcane Staff on a teammate. This build is easier in terms of mechanics, but coordinating with a teammate could pose a real challenge for you. Some things you should never use are any cloth chest piece. This is a ridiculous idea and will just result in you dying. And any blink boots besides Mage Sandals. You're just going to telegraph your plan by using another blink. You would have been better off walking into the enemy and then using a sprint to escape. There are a lot of ridiculous things that could come up to make you question your build. Something like your shot caller telling you have to wear a Knight Helmet because you're a frontline DPS. Let's get into why this is ridiculous and how to effectively play as a Galatine. Okay, first you need to understand that sword players are completely independent in a ZvZ. Playing as a hybrid DPS where you need to build stacks at a range, but be close enough to the front line without taking damage, and understanding exactly where the enemy is going to push and where you're going to be safe. It's a very challenging task, and your shot caller is going to be calling for your backline, but you're not going to want to push with them. You need to use your shot caller for intel and make sound calls for yourself, and when you do pull off your combo, you need to be able to get yourself out. If this hasn't scared you off yet, let's go over some basic strategies and look at a real world example. So the first thing we're going to learn is how Delayed Teleport and Soulless Stream interact. Basically, you can use your Delayed Teleport and then after the global cooldown begin casting your Soulless Stream. The blink will still go off and the cast will finish in the location you land. This interaction is the fundamental mechanic of the Galatines, and it's what gives you the element of surprise in the battlefield. Next we'll look at the timing for your Growing Rage and your Ambush. You want to get the most out of your stacks, but you need to be cautious of what's going on around you. And you're probably not going to start your rotation for no reason, meaning that there's an opportunity in front of you. It's best to use your Delayed Teleport combo as soon as you come off of global cooldown from your Assassin Jacket. This gives you a 4x4 buff, which if you do the combo effectively will result in you wiping your target. With that said, let's look into some of the advanced tactics and mechanics you'll need to understand to be an effective Galatines. So this is a basic ZvZ. You have two open planes and a choke. That's a ZvZ in a nutshell. On this side you have your front line and back line. On the other side you have the enemy. For the most part, they're just going to wiggle. But what they want to ultimately do is breach the choke. Or they want the enemy team to breach the choke so that they can counter on it. That's the fundamentals of a ZvZ. What you as an independent player need to understand is what both sides are doing. And you need to look for small cracks where you can slip in and start building your sword stacks. You also need to understand that every single person around you has tunnel vision. This is something you can use to your advantage. People are very conditioned to following their shot caller's calls to the T. This means that if you aren't between the enemy and the location they want to dump their spells, you're probably pretty safe, and you can even penetrate their backlines and build stacks. However, you need to pay attention to the kill spam and your shot caller, because if your team wipes, you're standing in the enemy's backline, and that's probably not a place you want to be. Next, let's talk about AoE escalation and resilience. AoE escalation is when you hit more people with your spells. The maximum buff amount you can receive is plus 200% damage. On the other hand, there's resilience. This is when the enemy gets hit by more than one player, and the defense buff caps out at 80%. What does this mean? This means you need to hit more people with your Soulless Stream in the span of time that your team has not dealt damage. Ideally, you want to hit 20 plus players with your Soulless Stream, while only having your tank, at most, engaging on them. The Galatines cap out at 12,500 raw damage in an absolutely perfect situation. Trying to achieve that perfect situation is the challenge. Okay guys, let's look at a real world example. In this example, you're going to see a soldier armored Galatines, and he's trying to brawl and build stacks. But what actually happens to him is that he gets caught out and kills his team. As soon as I see this, I instantly get in position and start sacking my sword, because I knew he was going right where I wanted to be, the choke. He is absolutely oblivious to what's happening. He has that tunnel vision where his shot caller was telling him to get back to the territory, and he was trying his hardest to get there. In reality, he killed his own team. It's very important that if you do decide to play swords in a ZvZ, that you have a heightened sense of awareness. Guys, you need to think on your feet, and you need to think for yourself. With that said, if you found the video helpful, please like and subscribe.